Hi there. So on the bottom, if you touch your screen, you're going to see a microphone that might have a red line in it to unmute yourself so I can hear you. Yeah, not hear you yet. The mic is still not on. There you go.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning still.
Yeah, good morning, Stills. Where are you located in the world?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Ah, I know the area enough that I've been there. Uh, is your name Nick or is it Salvador?
Well, both, but I use Nick.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Oh my God. So how'd you find me, Nick?
I think it was through Facebook.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you did. You probably don't know anything about me unless you're someone who stalks people online. Which if you did, which if you did, um, you would have been able to see that I've been in healthcare for 40 years.
Well,
I'm gonna, yeah, no, see, and the math sometimes doesn't match up with the face, but I just want to give you a brief understanding of who you're talking to over here. Um, I'll be 57 next month. At 17 years old, um, I got my EMT and I was the first responder on my local volunteer emergency squad, peeling my neighbors and helping people. Um, I was exposed to the reality of life at a very young age, and I connected the dots very quickly. How it just not does not affect the person that's experiencing something. It affects their family, their friends, their mentality, and everything that goes along with their life. Um, so I went to nursing school while I was working as an emergency room technician, and I got my RN in 1991. Um, I worked in emergency rooms, trauma, critical care units for while I was going back to school to get my registered professional nurse. Um, and after 5 years in the civilian sector, I was an active duty Air Force trauma nurse for 4 years. Um, and then I got out into education um, and then I got what I thought was my dream job, and that was in hospital administration. But I was now able to see behind the curtain and had clear understanding and facts that our healthcare system is a business. Um, when
well,
I
thank
was,
you for your service.
hey man, it's an honor to serve, man. It was an honor to serve. I'd go back in today if they'd take me. But yeah, many people understand, many people don't that our healthcare is like our politics is like everything else. It's the people at the tip of the sword that are benefiting, and those of us that are living and trying to survive are not. So I do this. I again, like I said in my brief video I sent you, I'm not here to sell you anything. Um, I am here to share with you what has helped hundreds of thousands of people across this country from the comfort of their own home reverse this condition, reverse these symptoms. Now, I don't want to draw the line and make a confusion that I'm saying there is a cure for peripheral neuropathy. There is not a cure for peripheral neuropathy. You may have it from diabetes. You may have drank too much. You may have had chemotherapy, take statins for cholesterol. They tell you it's idiopathic, which means they don't know why you have it. You just have it. But there's literally over 100 causes of peripheral neuropathy that starts with generally you feel like your legs are weak, and you might think I'm just getting old, and then you have some tingling and then some electric shocks, and it only acts up when you sit down at the end of the day. And it's like, oh, I'm just getting older, my dogs are barking. Um, you know, um, but what's actually happening in all of those cases, or 97% of them, is it's either the diabetes, the statins, or any of those things. They cause the little blood vessels around the cells in our nerves and our tissues to start to shrink and shrivel up. Plain and simple.
Yes,
Okay. All right. So we're good on that. All right.
yes, I've heard that all that before, but yes, I'm with
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you. And I'm going to check in to make sure that you're with me on this because I don't want to get in the weeds, right? I don't want to, if you can go in the
Yeah.
weeds with me and get it, I'm all there for it. I'm full frontal on all of this. Why did they tell you you have neuropathy, Nick?
Well, I'm 60. A little bit background on me. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't drink coffee. I didn't ever do drugs. Not saying that I didn't do those at one point in my life, but I just was never like an ongoing user or drinker or smoker or whatever. I'm 60 years old. My A1C was last in July, and it was 6.3. I started to feel what, because I see the commercials, and I would see, if you have tingling, I'm like, well, I really don't, doesn't feel like it, but I guess it does a little bit. And if you feel numb, well, I guess. But anyway, so then after about a year, I decided to actually look into it, and I went to some chiropractor, and he did some tests where he got different devices, a little something sharp, something cold. And he touched my toes. Did you feel this? You feel that? And then he would tell me that I would have neuropathy. And then, of course, they wanted to put me on some ridiculous, overpriced program. I'm like, well,
Can
I'm
I
going to
ask you a
hold off on
question?
that.
Can I ask you a question about that
Sure,
though?
sure.
And I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. Um, is whatever price they were talking to you about, if it would prevent you from getting amputations and being able to walk and do the things that you enjoy, um, is it a ridiculous price? I mean, because I know teeth can cost about 33 grand. Um, some stem cell treatments can start at around 23 grand. So I'm just trying to just understand.
Well, the answer to that question at the time, the answer was no. But now that a year has gone by, I'm thinking the answer would be yes. It'd be worth paying 10,000 to keep your toes, keep your foot.
Well, I'm certainly not talking about 10,000 here. All right. That would be overpriced. And I don't even sell anything. I'm just, I know these processes. Um, I actually, was in charge of a neuropathy clinic 3 years ago for 5 years before that. Um, I treated, hundreds of patients with peripheral neuropathy successfully. I brought people back from an 88% sensory loss to 4%. My oldest patient, when he started, was 93 years old, came in with his son in a walker dragging his feet. In about 5 weeks, he was able to walk on a cane. In about 12 weeks, he was able to do some independent walking. In about 16 weeks, his son sent me a video of this now 94-year-old man walking on a treadmill.
Wow, impressive.
All right. So our bodies make new blood vessels every single day. It is called angiogenesis. Um, the way we do that, we're doing it right now, right? We know if we get a cut, that blood flow comes back. Hearts make collateral circulation. So we just eat and drink things that give our body the ingredients for a substance called nitric oxide. Now, don't be fooled by all the ads you see on TV or online about this nitric oxide supplement. In order for it to initiate new blood vessel formation, it must be produced by our body, right? Anything else is just a band-aid temporary vasodilation. Um, but we eat and drink things, and then we get exposed to certain rays of light from the sun. Um, a lot of doctors out there are close. They're close to the truth, right? Because they talk about red light therapy. Red light therapy. It is not the right wavelength of light. Red light therapy, red light is about a 625 nanometer. Again, that's a weeds, and it doesn't matter what the nanometer is. But what is actually cited in study after study after study is a therapy called anodyne therapy, which is near infrared light. And near infrared light is invisible to the human eye unless you're in a completely dark room, and then you could see a light glow. Um, So the whole red light things you see out there, they're good for increasing elastin and tightening up skin and even weight loss. But when it comes to actually initiating the release of the nitric oxide from the cells so blood vessels can form, it's the 890 near infrared, can't see by the human eye light that is doing it. Right. So some of
Okay.
these red light devices do have a mixture of infrared light, right? But I'm guessing, understanding marketing and people wanting to see things and they don't see it, they don't believe it. They added in this red light so someone could see a glow, right?
Yeah.
Now, I get on calls with patients who have tried the red light stuff and it didn't work. And then I get them in touch with a doctor that's actually using the anodyne therapy, which is mentioned in study after study after study, and they get better, right? It's like buying Walmart ice cream when you really like Breyers. It may look the same, but it doesn't taste the same.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right. There's other devices that are involved in this treatment plan, and once you're getting blood flow back to the nerve cells, right? It would be chaos if you didn't retrain those nerves and pathways to handle those signals properly again, because they haven't. So there is a device that is a nerve re-education device. It's called Rebuilder. And both of these, Anodyne and Rebuilder, can only be gotten through one of these root cause healers or doctors. The reason I call them root cause healers is because anyone can be a doctor and medicate symptoms and give referrals and treat symptoms, but you got to treat the root cause of a problem, right? So it retrains the nerves. It looks like a TENS unit, but people with neuropathy are given TENS units and nerve stimulators, and they're only designed to confuse the nerves, basically. Our nerves are like toddlers. If they're busy, they're okay. So they can shoot these electrical waves and these impulses through, and it just kind of confuses the nerves for a little while and can give some temporary relief. But make no mistake, whether you have temporary relief or not, the deterioration of the blood vessels are going to continue until those nerve cells and tissue cells start to die. And as a diabetic, that's even more scary because just the fact of someone having peripheral neuropathy increases their risk of wounds and amputations exponentially. But as a diabetic, pre-diabetic, you already know about circulation. You know about making sure your feet are okay because you get wounds that don't heal. That's no good. All
Right.
right. Okay. Cool. Not to get too deep in the study world here, but every single one of these studies, no less than 94% of the people that were in each of these studies, this one happens to be 100% of the people using that near infrared anodyne technology
Hmm.
at an 85% in sensation inside of 30 days. People that couldn't feel the floor could feel the floor again. People that just had moderate sensation can come back to normal sensation. And this has a lot to do with balance, right? Because you're 60, you're not 65 yet, but if you get to 65 and this continues and you fall and fracture a hip, you have up to a 50% chance of being dead or in a nursing home inside of 6 months, and that's very well documented.
Yes.
Right. Um, you're with me so far, right? We're
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. What have you tried? What have they been doing for you?
Well, at home, I bought the red light, like a boot,
Okay.
actually two of them. I've been using that for about a year, and it doesn't really work, but I'm still using it because at this point, I got to try something. Can't give up. I also have a home vibrating plate. I also have like a foot massager, stuff that I do at home. Now, stuff that I've done outside the house, like at a chiropractor's, I've had laser treatments. That didn't do much. I had also some frequency slash vibration treatments at some wellness clinic. That didn't do much. I also had like shockwave treatments at a chiropractor's.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't really do much. I didn't feel any improvement of whatsoever. The most recently one that I've been, well, I have been going, but I've used up the times that I've purchased is I think it's called Scalar Waves, Tesla Scalar Waves.
Okay.
It's supposed to be healing my cells, and I've done 12 hours, and I don't really feel anything. They say that at the clinic told me that that's kind of strange because usually after 3 hours people start feeling more energy or start to feel some type of improvement. I'm like, well, I don't feel nothing. It's the story of my life. I'm always been that oddball person that doesn't work for. They did recommend to do more hours. Of course, that means more money, but they
Of
also
course.
said that I could do like some blood work to check my numbers to see if if I've been improving, because it's possible that I've been improving in areas like my liver function and kidneys and stuff, but I'm not aware of them. But so anyway,
That's
that's
great.
where I'm at.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, um, you know, and you probably already kind of figured out, or maybe was even thinking about it while we were chatting a few minutes ago about why the red light didn't help you. Um, the vibration plate can be good for helping with balance a little bit, but it also just confuses the nerves. None of these things actually activate angiogenesis and get the blood flow back.
Right.
Right. Right. The shockwave therapy, the Tesla, the class 4 laser, they are awesome, but not for peripheral neuropathy. Right. So if you have scar tissue or rotator cuffs or back issues, those things are really great about activating the production. Now we're going to get in the weeds again of something called ADP, and that are in the mitochondria. We might remember those things back from science, little kidney shaped little things in our cells, um, and decreasing inflammation. And they also, these devices can activate our stem cells in the general area to initiate and start to work. But it all comes back to the deterioration of the blood vessels. These things can provide temporary relief, but this is always going on underneath. Okay. Um, all valid treatments, and I have used those in the clinic, but only as a supportive therapy with the three-pronged approach that is over 90% successful and has helped hundreds of thousands of people. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you've been trying everything. And I just want to commend you, Nick. Because people that would have tried all this stuff would have almost given up, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be on a call with me right now. Um, I just want to make sure I am absolutely good on time. Okay. Um, blood work. Well, it'd be awesome if your liver functions were better, or your A1C was better, and it just again comes back to that loss of blood flow. A lot of doctors will prescribe B vitamins, a bunch of B vitamins, some other things, because some people can have neuropathy due to vitamin deficiencies. But again, once that gets over the hump to where you're starting to feel symptoms, you could correct the back injuries, you can correct everything. But this has now gone over the hump and it is a ball rolling down the hill. Um, if you could wave a magic wand, Nick, what would you like to see happen?
Well, I think I'm somewhat a reasonable person. I don't want to climb Mount Everest, and I don't want to be a marathon long distance runner. Um, I would just like to have my pain in my feet reduced to the level where I can walk and go to work and pay my bills, and just be an average Joe.
Yeah.
Just so I could ride my bicycle and exercise, and then just try to live a healthy life as far as you know for the next 10, 20 years. Um, I just this pain that I have in my feet, and it's only my feet. it hasn't stopped me from doing anything, but everything I do, it's with pain. You know, it just freaking hurts, and it's get to the point where it's like, oh man, it's just lots of pain.
And not to scare you, but I just being an old trauma nurse, I've got the bedside manner of a hammer because my whole career has been about saving lives. And I realize that this is very similar because I'm trying to save quality of life. Um, this will, if unchecked and without treating the root cause, it will eventually move to your hands. And the reason your hands are going to lag behind your feet is because they're closer to the pump, right? They're closer to the heart, so they kind of
Right,
stay open a little longer. Um, but I've seen people come in back in the day with Velcro shirts, Velcro shoes because they can't do buttons or tie laces
right.
again. Um,
Yeah,
the
no, I hear you, and I've heard that, and I'm aware of that. It's just right now I'm a race against time to try to correct this. That's why I have a don't give up attitude. I just gotta keep going until I find something that's gonna help me either slow it down or reverse it. I mean, it's yeah. I'm in a race against time here.
well, that's the clock's going to start going in another direction, right? Because we're talking here today. Um, there are there are about 100 doctors across this country that I endorse, right? That I know do the proper treatment, that do the exact same thing I was running in the clinic. Um, and they're very protective about their success rate because of the skepticism and confusion surrounding the treatment of peripheral neuropathy because our medical doctors don't know, right? Because they're busy just doing insurance based stuff where they can see you 5 to 10 minutes and be in and out.
Right.
Um, and and if I put you in touch with a doctor who can actually talk to you just like this, you don't have to go anywhere. Um, if they tell you they can help you, what that means is they're going to expect you to get great results. Expect it. Um, and based on the hundreds of thousands of patients across the country who have reversed this condition, the symptoms naturally, over 80% of those people start having noticeable and lasting improvements in as early as 3 weeks. May I share with you a couple of my patients I treated? These are videos from back in 2018. You'll hear my voice, and it just kind of adds a little more validity to what I'm saying because in order for this, you know, um, we need trust.
Yes. Yeah. I'm open to listen, to watch videos.
All right, so let me share here. Um, so right here, this one's a little hard to hear, but I'm going to try it, and you just put your hand up if you can't hear it. I'm here with Vince on the right and Vince on the left. How you guys doing?
Good. Fine.
Good. Um, you started treatment with us for neuropathy about how long ago?
3 weeks. I think it's the fourth week.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Week,
I think it's about a month.
about a month now. Just tell me what's going on. What's changed in your life here?
Less pain, oddly enough, in my right toe. Pretty severe sometimes. I'm walking better. Instead of shuffling, I'm actually able to lift my feet and move.
That's great. Great. Vince, what do you see? Yeah.
Major walking improvement. And bottom of his feet don't hurt as much. And it's just been really impressed overall with the treatments. And he was basically just barely moving his feet before he started. Now he's taking full steps.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you're getting the results. You keep doing it, and you'll get everything out of it. Yeah. All right. So this was Vince, just his son, given a little extra another day.
This is
Oh.
the world's first reusable
Excuse me.
cotton swab. It can remove up to 10 times more.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on. Your dad's coming to us for treatment for his peripheral neuropathy.
Yep, that's correct. He's been here for 12 weeks. He started out barely walking, heading toward a wheelchair. He's gonna be 94 this Friday, and he's taking full steps now, and it's completely changed the way he's been living.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the neuropathy treatment is amazing. I'm shocked that it's this good.
Yeah, and he's able to do it at home with a little bit of help.
Yeah, he just needs a little bit of help for certain things, but overall, he's got his life back.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. And the last thing I'll share, I mean, I can share, you know, I've got so many patients here. Right. But I made a little before and after of some of my patients just to kind of give an idea of what they were dealing with.
My feet.
Prescription 80% sensory loss in my lower extremities.
And how long have you had neuropathy? About 15 years.
This started really fast, progressively worse.
It hasn't been anything like that in 8 or 9 years.
Been undergoing treatment.
My orthopedic doctor told me I'd never gain back the nerve damage that was done with my spine.
I wasn't really sure what was going on. And sure enough, I had some neuropathy in both of my feet.
Depressed and nothing being done to my feet.
Prescription medication, 50 milligrams.
So you get the idea, and it would go, you know, this really struck my heart. I gotta get to Ryan here, this kid.
Okay.
Lately.
I haven't been able to take my kids to the playground in almost 2.5 years. You know, start walking there and I really can't make it. My feet hurt too much.
Wincing when my granddaughter walks by me when I have no socks on, you know, because she's going to touch my feet.
I realized that I had a problem.
Okay. So yeah, that would be all horrible stories if that's where we left it.
As day 43, I feel great. Still have some pain, but not much. It's helped a lot.
Well, it's working. My feet are ticklish again. And I don't know how long it's been since my feet were really ticklish. It's working.
I've been here for 8 weeks, and I've had a good amount of success. It's well worth it.
October 29th was your first visit in this office, okay? How many weeks were you there? So now it's January the 9th, and Monica has 100% sensation on both extremities.
And today I can say I feel the cold, the pinching, the hot, and everything on my feet. But that's a nice feeling to feel.
It's been about 2.5 weeks that I'm into it now, and a lot of the things that you talked about originally it started happening already. Something's happening, and I'm very happy with the path that it's going right now, and I'm gonna continue doing my part.
This is your 3rd week with us on the in-clinic protocols?
That is correct. Just a few days ago, that my right foot and my right big toe doesn't have that pressure anymore, nor does actually the sequencing toes. I love it, yeah.
5-month reevaluation. Janine only has basically a 4% sensory loss.
The pain's gone. I couldn't ask for a better outcome.
I'm happier now. My life has changed 100%. 7 weeks now in a line neuropathy program.
Mm-hmm. I can feel it. I wasn't able to actually feel myself touching my feet. I saw that I'm touching my feet, but I didn't feel it.
It's been out about a month now. I've made a few trips around the backyard, no cane, which hasn't been anything like that in 8 or 9 years. So
For the past 3 weeks.
So it brings a great joy. One of the things Ryan, the younger guy, was talking about not being able to take his kids to the park. He came in one day, and it's in there somewhere, but he said he took his kids to the park. And it's the first time he's done that in 2.5 years. Sorry, I get emotional with some of this stuff because I know people are suffering and they don't have to. But I'm just an old softy. I've seen so much that it just affects me. Sorry about that. So Nick, I want to help you become another success story in this country. And what I'd like to do for you is make an introduction to a doctor who can see you online. He can kind of tag on to what we talked about here, so you understand that he's the same as me.
Okay. Sure.
And because it's online, right? Because it's virtual. It's, what did you say? Someone wanted to charge you a lot more money, like 10 grand.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not going to be 10 grand. I don't know exactly. I try not to talk about the money aspect of it, because I want to be here just for you and others. I'm happy to answer any questions about it that you might have. But one of the biggest things you need to know is that the insurance guidelines for this, and Medicare kind of sets the rules for all insurance companies. And when it comes to peripheral neuropathy, they code it as a quality of life issue. And anything they code as a quality of life issue, they call not medically necessary.
Right. Right.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you accept that introduction?
Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. There's only one thing I'm ever going to ask of you, right? Is when you start feeling better, when you start feeling the results, hop on one of these with me, and let's talk about it, and allow me to share. Your story is very powerful, of all the things that you have tried and have failed you. And there's millions of people out there just like you, but unfortunately, a lot of them have given up. They suffer from what I call healthcare PTSD. Because
Yeah, I'm suffering some of that too, but I got to keep going.
Well, I'm the cure for healthcare PTSD. Find me on Facebook, Mike the Neuropathy Nurse. Follow me, right? You know, if you feel like commenting or saying anything that, you know, a conversation with me was helpful, that would help people to talk to me, because they're still snake bit. They still believe that the pills and the potions and the treatments and the surgeries and heaven forbid, when it gets down the road, these doctors will suggest surgically implanting a nerve stimulator in people's spines just to try and block the signals from getting to the brain. It's disgusting. And I don't blame them, because they only know what they're taught. And they don't have time to go outside the box. If they need continuing education units to maintain their license, they're going to do it in something in and out, because it takes time to talk to someone about this, right? It's just one of those things. All right. Awesome. Any last questions for me? Anything, you know?
Well, tried a lot of things. I hadn't even gotten into the supplements that I've been trying to take. I mean, AOL, the B complex, you know, berberine. I mean, you name it. Anyways, yeah, I think like you had mentioned earlier, I think the reason I have not been successful is because my missing ingredient is I think it's like you said, it's a three. What is it? Three approach, three.
I call it a three-pronged approach, right?
Yeah, three-pronged approach.
We've got to have the proper amino acids and trace elements in your body, right? For the production of nitric oxide. And those come in a powder, right? You mix them twice a day in water and you drink it, right? Now the cells are jam-packed, right? But even though you're in Phoenix, right, and you could stand out in the sun naked for 24 hours a day, it's still not enough, right? So this NASA discovered technology that's in the studies is what you wear for a half an hour a day on each foot. Back in my day in 2018, when I started treating patients, the technology was still good, but people had to do it twice a day. Now the technology is even better, so it's only once a day.
Good.
And then, so that's the second prong, right? We get the amino acids in, the building blocks. Then we use the near infrared light anodyne unit to release that and cause the blood vessels to grow. And then the third approach is the nerve re-education, retraining the nerves and pathways to handle the signals properly. And those three things are what are changing lives and removing fear and about the future. Because at 60, you're too young to have your body start deteriorating on you.
Oh man. I like how that sounds. People tell me that, and yeah. Okay. No, I'm glad that we were able to connect because, to be honest with you, I have a superpower, and that superpower is I can feel when people are talking to me if they're sincere or they're trying to bamboozle me. And I feel the sincerity in your voice. So I want to thank you and thank you for your service too.
Nick, thank you. Thank you so much for seeing me, right? Meaning, using your superpower, and just let me know that you get me. You get it, right?
Yeah. Everything you said, everything we've talked about, I'm with, I get it. The doctors, the system, I get it.
Awesome,
They
man.
keep you coming back, selling you pills. No, I get it.
It's unfortunate, but I'll never stop battling it. It'll come. So one thing I need to ask you, do I have your permission to share this video with the doctor so that he's on the same page?
Certainly. Yes,
Okay.
you have my permission.
Okay. And one last thing, and you can decide how far you want to go with this. I'll blur out your face if you don't want your face up there, but could I have your permission to use parts of this video to let people know that there's hope and educate them?
Yes, you have my permission to do that too.
Okay. Do you, and now that I'm asking for the world, right? Do you want your face blurred out?
No, you don't have to blur out. In fact, I'll, afterwards, I'm willing to do a testimonial too. I mean,
man, if you, yeah, that's awesome. I wouldn't even ask that, right? But that's awesome. Anytime you want, you have my cell number, I think, because I texted you. That's my personal cell, right? That's not a number. That's just Mike, who's been in this for 40 years and overly trusts people. Is just, you got to know I'm real, right? You got to know this is not some actor or some BS.
right. No, you have my permission to do those things. Yes.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask you one question right now, and that's it, right? Okay. Since we have permission for this. Nick, you've been suffering with peripheral neuropathy for years now. You shared with me that you tried lasers, shockwave, Tesla coils, blood work, all these other things, including supplementation. What would you say to someone who's on the fence about talking to me about peripheral neuropathy? Like, should they get on a call with me? Was this valuable to you for a free call?
Well, what I would say is, if you want to save yourself some pain and grief, I wish I would have met Mike years back. Definitely get on a call. Definitely listen to what he has to say, or at least give yourself the opportunity to hear what he has to say. I mean, absolutely, yes. Get on a call.
Awesome, man.
Highly
I
recommend it.
I again, I appreciate you for being willing to talk to me and just get answers, right? Because it all starts with knowledge, right?
Yes.
The only thing I'm powerless against in this world is ignorance and arrogance. Communication is key. So, Nick, awesome. You'll have this introduction out today sometime. I have some back-to-back calls here, but you will have it. It's going to be a three-way thing where I'm emailing you and the doctor, so everyone has the same information, and there's no confusion there.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
10-4.
Yeah, reach out to me anytime. Text me anytime. Okay, save my number.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm here for you, buddy.
I got it. All right. You have a great afternoon and a great day.
All right, peace.
Thank you again.
All right, bye, man. Appreciate you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.